which visited the school led by Mr. Ngole. The third team, which visited the girls' dormitories and was led by Angela. And the fourth team visited the boys' dormitories and was led by or guided by Mr. Kasa, commonly known as Daddy Boya. That is in the interest of the parents who came a bit late in the school facilities. Who is follow the 1, 2, 3, but who is ready? Which team is ready? And please, the secretary, we call him secretary, secretary, and there was a chairperson, especially those which need administration's action, and they do. Yeah, I'm told that we have searched for so many hours. I would request one person to help us to stand up, stretch ourselves. Just 1 minute. Can somebody come and lead us through that 1 minute exercise? Our games person? Somebody? Yes?
Ladies and gentlemen, let us walk up, raise up, and write coconuts in 1 minute. I'm letting you write the coconuts, the word coconut. Begin with what? This is beautiful. Our sit back down. See you go. That's right, all. And see. And so it is a concern that we get the learners involved. We took an example from Gayaza, where learners have an opportunity to do the actual farming. So we are requesting that they can have actual involvement in learning about agriculture. We also emphasize the need to have improvement in IT, where our learners are able to do programming over and above just doing the Word, Excel and the others. But the headmaster were informed that this is also happening, that some of our learners are engaged in programming, because this is the way to go. We want to thank the school for that, and we can give them a clap. Last challenge was with the A-levels. Like the headmaster mentioned, they have limited space where they can sit because of the sitting arrangement, which was changed. So for the different subjects, they have to leave and try and find where they can sit. So as parents, when we hear about that call to support the school on more space, we should be able to support to ensure that our learners are able to sit in one place for a particular subject and able to get instructions from their teachers and they learn better. We managed to see Musingu's building and Konyogo building, which have good structures with laboratories and learners' classrooms. That is briefly what we managed to pick from the classrooms. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the comments. Can we get the next report?
Thank you so much, Chair, and the head teacher, and all the executives, and our dear parents. I'm Frank Wayu, parent to Shekaina Ayevale, who is in Senior 6, and then Her Majesty in Senior 3. I was on the team that was led by the head teacher, and we had tours in different places. And I want to thank the head teacher for explaining every sport for us. We're able to have a close interaction with him. We went to a number of projects. They took us to the physical education field, where many practicals of sports are being done, like football, volleyball, and other activities. And one of the recommendations was modernizing the place by putting a pavilion and also some stairs at that play center. But some construction work already underway, like the head teacher was reporting. Then they took us to the farm. We want to appreciate the great work that is being done there. We saw some birds. Those were layers, about 480 of them. And the report they gave us is that every day they are gathering 13 trays of eggs. Today we had at least every student is getting an egg. And when the parents asked the way forward, they promised us that they want to increase production of the eggs by increasing the birds. Then we also saw the cattle. They are healthy, 17 of them, and they produce 20 liters per day of milk. And they also promised us that they want to increase production of the milk. We can also clap hands and appreciate them for that. So the target increase of the liters of milk is 200 liters per day. That is for the future. Then we went to the classroom blocks. They took us to the new building that they talked about, the 3-story building and the computer facility. Looking at it right now, it's not yet complete, but you see that when it's complete, it's going to look magnificent. and we also want to appreciate the administration for that. The head teacher showed us the walkways that have been widened because of the population of the students. Even as parents who are quite a big number and who are feeling the freedom to walk on those walkways. One of the things that captured me was the water purifiers. We thank God that one was already installed, and the taps were there with the water that don't need to be boiled. The students can just come and drink at once. And we asked if there were others in the dormitories and other areas. And the head teacher, as you heard in his report, promised that they are planning to add 2 more in other sections of the students of the other classes, because right now it is one serving all the 2,000 plus population. Yeah, we saw the perimeter wall, as you saw on the presentation. The gate also was shown to us, the main gate. They showed us the van that was already worked on and it's functioning. Then the old bus, which is already refurbished, was also shown to us. And then the head teacher also promised that that truck, some of you saw it parked there, and he promised that that's the next project they're going to be working on. We saw the staff quarters. They were well renovated, and as the previous reporter said, you really see cleanliness everywhere you step. So I want to appreciate the school for that. We saw the redesigned parking area. When we came 6 years ago, the parking area was quite confused. We did not know where to put the car, but today, if you go there, the parking area is very wonderful. It looks modern enough, so we can appreciate the administration for that as well. We saw the security cameras. Almost every spot you go, you see the security cameras. Maybe the other challenge is if they will put some security cameras in the dormitories, because some of the students keep having challenges of loss of items in the dormitories and breaking into their suitcases and the rest. So it is one thing that we put before the administration. We entered into the main hall. We saw it was well painted inside, and the head teacher promised that in this holiday they will do the outside painting. Then one parent also observed that some electric cables need to be, I don't know the right electrical word, but they are insulated, but they need to be, I don't know what word to use, but I think people understand what I mean. Because some students, may be tempted to plug them off or something that may cause some accidents. Then we also observed that the main hall, if you're to look at the population of 2,000 right now, it's not big enough. So we pray that there will be an expansion of the main hall. The classes, we saw they were painted, apart from senior 4 and senior 6, which were in use. But then, as you heard, during the holidays, they'll finish the painting. And then we also saw the study room of the girls. It's well completed. And then the headmaster also promised the beautification of the compound, adding more flowers and all that. In conclusion, we want to say that the administration is doing a great work, and we really appreciate, and we want to thank the current head teacher for work in progress in our prestigious school. So thank you so much, parents, and let's clap for the administration once more. God bless you.
Thank you very much for that positive report. Let's have the next report.
Good afternoon, fellow parents. The next report is from the girls' end. I was here from senior to senior 6. So, and they were listening at that. The matters of the girls' end, I want to commend the school one bedroom for all the girls' end. So that needs to be at least reconsidered. There is a mix-up of different classes in one dormitory. I think that also needs to be reconsidered. For the old building, that is the train, we used to call it the train wing, one block, one CB. I think that needs to go. The roof is low, it is not aerated, it's too congested, and the suitcases are outside. And that brings me to the issue of the suitcases. The sizes, parents, the sizes of the suitcases are also taking up the space. The suitcases, you gave us a size, but it's not doing us justice. So we need to closely look at that. Then we went to the complex, that is the A level. I think the floor is not yet done now because it's so broken and it's not finished somewhere. So I think that also needs to be considered. And then the size of beds, some of us have, God gave us the height. So you find the beds are so tiny for these students. I think let's take a leaf from the A-level beds. They are a bit spacious and they have those shelves where we put the suitcases. Some dormitories have them, but I think it should be across. Then the mirrors are broken and very dirty. I think having matrons, it will help us to beef up the hygiene. Thank you for putting up those marvelous bathrooms and toilets. They are tiled, but those which are not tiled, consideration needs to be put there because the cleaning, you can't justify the environment in which they are. Then thank you for installing the fire extinguishers, but we also need the fire exit, the doors. So I think that's all. In the end, our dear parents, please consider putting up a new building, a new complex, and continue greening the school. Thank you. That's what I want.
Thank you very much for receiving the product. Give her another group. I'm happy to see that NOSA supports the school, and that shows confidence in the current management. Can you get the next?
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Team boys devotees. We have registered the following observations. Positive observations. General improvement in the appearance of the school as we were walking through. Provision of metallic suitcase holders in some dormitories have been observed. Fire extinguishers are up to date. We have observed that they are not expired. We have known that fact. Toilets / bathrooms were clean in most of the ends. And we observe that some parents have been bold enough to compare the current and the past. That these places were smelling in the past, but today there is a very big difference. Big love for the administration. We would like to thank all the house masters and mistresses. We have been told that they work hand in hand, and that these house masters from the boys' end cross to the girls' end to share experiences. That's a good habit. Let them continue to compare notes. Now, the negative part of it will come after appreciating all these house masters. A big clap for all of them. Given that our children come from different backgrounds, especially the boys, you are going to hear from the negatives. Instead of, we have concluded with the positives.
observing is that out of these houses, we have noted with a big appreciation for Mboya being the cleanest and the most organized house, without any bias or compromise at all, even when he was the one leading us through negatives, negative observations, congestion in almost all the dormitories. And it's worse in senior 1 and senior 2 dormitories. Not standard bed sizes in these dormitories, like the counterpart here from the girls' aid has observed. It would be better if you come up with a standard bed size. Therefore, to determine a standard bed mattress, uniform for all. Lack of metallic suitcase holders in some dormitories. In some have suitcase holders, others do not have. Some Muyingo lacks lighting system. I don't know whether it was by design. Today we have not seen bulbs there. I don't know whether it was an oversight. They are not in the holders, the lamp holders. I'm glad I'm seeing practical approvals from the head teacher. Very many of them. Some floors are not smooth in these dormitories. Cracked floors and potholes. Yes, my fellow parents, we are going to analyze our school. Yeah, another negative here. Drainage in some of the around the toilets and latrines is not good. And cleaning should be regular. We have seen they are clean today. We don't know whether that cleanness is regular. In some toilets, the handles are not functional. Therefore, flushing the toilets is not easy or even not done. We appreciate there is a provision for drums for unescaped route to place water to be used when they draw that water from the drums. Incidentally, we have found the drums empty. Yeah, the walkways in some of the dormitories are narrow because of the other overcrowding. Some recommendations as follows. We recommend that you consider designing and construction of better dormitories for the boys, but we appreciate you have gone ahead and you have shown us the prospect. Let's clap for the Number 2, consider designing standard bed sizes across the dormitories. We also request that as administration, you stick to the policy. We have found that some of us brought extra large mattresses, and it's very uncomfortable for the learners. for the students there. The mattress is large, climbing up and down is not easy. Probably I've forgotten one negative, which is specific. Sweeping under the beds is a challenge. They sweep in only in the spaces, and this is worse in the senior 6. This is worse in senior 6 boys. Then another specific for the boys that I've forgotten, laying beds is a challenge. In most of these dormitories, but worst in Mutesa dormitory. And then senior 6 boys, many of them laying beds is a challenge. Then back to recommendations, consider improving on the emergency exits. We have seen that in some dormitories, the emergencies are only in the front, and there are metallic bars at the back. We have shared with the officer who has said us through that it is also administrative. We appreciate, but then assuming that is that catastrophe, consider observing that a little more critical, because it's not easy. God forbid it gets happened. We have also gone far to look at not having smoke detectors. I don't know that they are there, which dormitory. We have not seen any smoke detectors in the dormitories. Then, some dormitories lack fire extinguishers in the nearest proximity. Provision of suitcase holders should be in all dormitories and on all beds. As you are moving around, we have also noted with concern that waste management is a challenge, where we have seen that Kavera ban policy is not observed in our quality Ndejje Secondary School. Biodegradable waste management and non-biodegradable waste management not observed. Everything is mixed there and band together. Can we be a role model to the learners? Yeah, we request humbly that students put books in the ridges, high in the ridges of the roof. Yes, because they have little space for storing their books and their property. Some of the books are high in the roof, on the ridges. Kubusolia. Finally, we would like to appreciate the administration for all the efforts. We know our children are difficult. I'm ending with that because it has been noted that all dormitories have duty rosters, but some of our children do not want to participate in dormitory activities. And when they are asked to participate, some of them that just begin crying. It's unfortunate. That's our children. Thank you very much, administration. May God bless you. Parents, let's pull up.
Thank you very much. I did not pick your name for record purpose. And also I've just been informed that our former presenter for the girls' dormitory was Damadi Nyanja Guama. It's important for our records.
Chair, 1,000 apologies. I thought I'd done it by design, that I end by the name. And now let me end by introducing myself. When you look at me, you just see a command from the head to the bottom, Kasanja. So I am Kasanja Patrick, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much. Dear parents, I would request that we give our presenters a hand clap. One. And another for the parents who managed to come on time and they participated in this program. You see how beautiful it is, especially when you attended last year and this year, and you can compare notes and see whether actually your observation then, comments, recommendations, some action has been taken. And that gives management, staff, even the children hope that when you observe, something will be done. Unlike where you say, even if they see, even if they comment, but if they know whatever is observed, some action is taken. And take in consideration that some of these resolutions are supposed to be implemented by you. I'm going to ask the teacher to respond to some of them after we first go through the minutes. Yeah, then we have responses at the same time. Some of these were supposed to be implemented by you, like now the big mattress. Sincerely, it's the parents who decide to come with extraordinary mattresses. The suitcases, it was you in the AGM who recommended the specific sizes which can fit on the beds. But I want to exonerate management on that because they said for any new student, he or she must follow the dimensions of the suitcase. But there was some laxity on the old students so that they slowly phase out because parents complain, they say school fees is a burden, now buying another suitcase when I had already bought one. So some of them, we had that challenge of parents who failed to really rebuy the suitcase. But I'm sure come next year we'll have phased out all those extra big suitcases. And you can see the environment is becoming better and safety for our children. And of course, even transforming all the beds at a go was not very possible financially, because it meant management to go back and find resources to modify those beds to have that provision which you recommended. And I'm happy that you have reported that some beds have that provision. So which means administration took your recommendation serious, but it has not managed to accomplish because of financial constraints. So I was making management ready to take us through the minutes of the previous meeting. Then we shall go on matters arising right from the students' remarks, the head teacher, my remarks, and all the reports we have been presented. I know for some of us who are diabetic, the body starts to demand, so let's maximize the time. Since we have got this code, and most of us, if not all of us, have got these documents, the minutes, we have read them, I would request to go straight to the action notes, and then we save on our time. Yes. Okay. So I hope some of you who attended last AGM and have gone through the minutes can give me like comment, or if you have seen your name is missing, we start with that so that we approve the minutes and say that's the true picture of what we discussed. I know some of us still have very good memory. You can remember what we discussed. If there are no omissions, and what then somebody passes that we adopt the minutes, then we look at the matters arising from the minutes or the action notes. Any proposal? Somebody who has read through the minutes, yes please. They can give you the mic. Can you help me give him the microphone? He's over there. Oh, he's over here. Just here.
Thank you and good afternoon. My name is Joseph Shibuka. I propose that we adopt the minutes as read with minor changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder?
I am Robert Gonzaki. I second the proposal.
Thank you very much. So now that our minutes have been accepted as part of our deliberations, can I get the action notes? Can go through them quickly. Yes, Salongo.
Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the action paper. If you have scrolled and moved very fast, you have found action paper for the minutes of PTA annual general meeting held on 5th of October 2024 at school. Minute 1 up to minute 8, no action was required. Minute 9, part 9.1a, the ceilings. Putting the action required was to put ceilings in the girls' dormitory. It was to be done by administration, and the action taken is that not yet done, the funds have not been allocated. For 9.1, Roman 2, bathrooms, to upgrade the bathrooms and latrines, to be done by the administration. This was done, and the 9.1 Roman 3, a new dormitory, construction of another storage girls' dormitory by the administration, and the response that plans are underway under the midterm of the strategic plan. That's why in our display here, we have not talked about the girls' dormitory, but the teacher was clear that it will be replicated like what is in the architectural design of the boys' plan, boys' dormitory. 9.1, Roman 4, suitcase. Restrict one suitcase per child to decongest the dormitories, to be done by administration, and we are saying this was done, and the standard size was set, and it is adhered to. Except, like the chairman has said, that some parents whose children were in senior 4 and senior 3 complained and said, now this one, my child is about to complete. Why should I buy a new one again? So we had to pay a little, but for all the others that are coming in, we are adhering to that. The sizes were communicated during the end of term circular, and that's what we are following. And we are saying strictly one, not having so many by one student. 9.1 Roman 5, put shelves in dormitories for holding suitcases. That is to be done by the administration. The racks attached to most of the beds have been improvised to reduce congestion. And I want to say this is done in phases. We are working on beds in shifts. Not all beds have been worked on, but at least you have seen some, and more especially the new ones. The new ones that are being bought, it is a requirement that the manufacturer or the one who is making those beds brings them when they have already the racks where they can put the suitcases. From the boys' end, the walkways, widening the walkways, that is by administration. I think we have seen that we are going to work on them, but we are still working on other areas, especially the academic areas where they have to regularly move from one classroom to the dormitory. So the work is in progress. Fixing the doors, this was done. In some dormitories, there were some doors which were a bit shaky. As far as the burglar proof is concerned, to remove the burglar proof from the dormitories, I think the parents who visited some of these dormitories did not take note that one side of the whole block we removed the burglar and one side has. So they are not using only the exit, the doorway, all the windows on one side. We removed the burglars because we also have a challenge here of some of these neighbors who used to come and disturb us by stealing property. Dormitory construction again on the side of the boys. We have already seen the architectural designs and the plan awaiting approval from the relevant authorities. 9.1b, again ceiling in the complex building. It will be done in the next financial year. There were more pressing needs to be worked on. The washrooms, more washrooms to be constructed by the administration, work in progress, and we are covering this in phases. And then putting terrazzo. Remember, Mr. Kasaija here said there are some potholes in some of the dormitories. We are yet to do that. The funds have not been allocated. And what I want to remind our parents is that we use funds that you give us, and the largest composition goes on feeding the learners and providing other expenses from other expenses. If we told you what we have injected in this function alone to have it, and yet the head teacher is yet to tell you that he has organized lunch for you, and this has been a pressing demand from you. So sincerely, there with us. We are working, but in phases. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Salongo. I think it deserves another clap. On behalf of the entire management for having taken action on the issues you raised in our previous AGM. Now, I would like to open for comments and maybe some guidance on issues raised in 5, that is 5, 6, 7, and 8. Although they do not number them. It is the chairperson's, the head teachers' post-school management report, and the presentation of the tour, and also the minutes. So all those issues, I hope you raise them. And in the interest of time, let's give opportunity to others. So when you have issues, not raise more than 2. Give others an opportunity to also raise, and be very brief. Don't give a presentation. Just straight to the point and move on. And it would be good to mention where your issue is being raised. Is it to the head teacher's report? Is it to the, as brief as that, make sure the respondent is known.
Yeah, my name is Aaron Kagoda, father to Ndejje Kagoda Genesis 3. What is, okay, I'm reacting on the action points, and one of them is the beds. I have failed to understand how you have a whole-decker bed, which is this high. So the person who is sleeping on the lower bed is like they're entering into a drawer. And then when they put the rug where the suitcase sits, the suitcase can't open. So it just defeats the purpose. Why put that suitcase holder when you can't increase the height of the bed? At least let them increase the height of the bed so that when these runners move their suitcases, they can open. And then there is an action point where you say that putting doors on washrooms was done. The action taken says done. But these washrooms are open, the bathrooms are open, completely open. And then again, about the sewers outside in the compound, I think the water that is leaving the bathroom should not be closed off so that we don't have contamination. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. Another person.
Thank you very much. My name is Naro Mugume. My concern is around health. The dormitories, some dormitories don't have where to hang mosquito nets. My children, when they reported here, then they would report back home, I would find the mosquito nets very intact. And I was wondering. And they told me there's nowhere they can hang the nets. That is it, Kawao. I don't know that's the right name of the dormitory, this first dormitory. And now the instances of malaria become so high. As I speak now, my son here has malaria. 2 days back he called me. And the sister also has malaria, she called me yesterday. So if we know that really mosquito nets control the malaria, why don't we have provisions where the students can hang the nets? Another concern is about academic. We need to have some bit of succession planning that if like the teacher is going for maternity leave, why not plan earlier? So there's no that lapse floor when the children are having no teacher. The teacher should be available on time, even to bring back on board for with the teacher who is going to take up. But you find some time is lost. The person went for maternity, some weeks are lost out, which is not really good. Then finally, you know, not all issues can be said here. It's very normal. We might say maybe I'm still having some balance on school fees. I will mention this, and I might be harassed, or my child might be harassed at school. I wish in such a meeting you could have a box here, where those who are not able to settle their issues, they are able to put them in the box here, and they are read out before we move out. There are issues which a person can't mention. I visited the washroom there. There's no sanitary pad disposal, what is it? And this is the place where children are praying around. What happens? We're having a big meeting here, but there's nothing like that. I myself had to call the cleaner and say, please, this place is not having this. But it will be an issue, very hard someone to mention here. So if you can have a box, here, some who are not able to say it can put their suggestion, and they are ready up there and then when we are still in the meeting.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think for that, I will not wait for the administration to respond. I request whoever has an issue to write it down. We'll make provisionally box to receive them, and that is a good proposal which even the teacher shall be using. And of course there are issues because of time which we might not be able to respond to now. but they will be responded to even on our platform or even by action. So please, if you have an issue, some are actually not only shy to talk, but they are shy to talk in public. So it is okay to write. So administration, you can avail small books where people can write between now and the closure, and we get those papers for action. Bearers, they are going to respond. Can we get another? I think I had thought we can have maximum. Yes. After you, there is somebody at the back.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the way you have conducted this meeting. My name is Ronald Bakayana, and I'm an old student of this school. But my concern, Mr. Chairman, is all about the condition at the school. I happen to be a parent of girls at junior school, but there is something which they have opened up of recently, which has given them enough chance to see that they accommodate more students given the academic performance. Ndejje is also one of the best schools we have in the country, and I'm optimistic that the numbers are still growing. Given the congestion which we have experienced in the dormitories and in the classes, I'm of the view that don't you think what is happening is calling for another campus? Because I cannot just imagine if an epidemic can break up today here in Ndejje, what will be the solution? Even if now we are planning to raise up more buildings to accommodate the students, but I think it will be very difficult also to conduct them to see that they are all monitored well. It's as if maybe in the near future, if this all goes on, it's like as if we are trying to form a balance in the name of the school. So I would suggest that if the plans can be adopted, and we start making plans on how we can make expansion, because our school is going higher and higher in giving better performance in the country. So I'm just suggesting, I don't know whether I'm just bringing something which is very fair in the future, but I'm seeing that the numbers are hitting high, that we are now trying to style that we can start calling for a new campus for the school. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. There was somebody that end, then you come in front here. I want to close the session, but I'm not closing the proposals. Keep writing and forward.
Thank you so much, Chairman. My name is Grace. I'm a veterinarian. While I've started with my profession, I had one of the parents who said that they pick 13 trays per day. I don't know if I'm right. Was it 13? They collect 13 trays of eggs per day. And I'm wondering if it's possible for the children to have an egg in a week, if you do that simple calculation. So in line with that, I'm just advising that in case you want, okay, the school farm wants to increase on the production, it's very, I know that there is a manager, but it's also good to involve in a veterinary expert in that line. There's something that I want to bring out that the headmaster said. The surveillance system is in place, the cameras are in place, and I appreciate that so very much. My only problem is that we have a mechanism in place, especially on the days when we have like sports days and we envisage that anything can happen. Do we have a system in place that when there's chaos that erupts, I've had in the background that there are sometimes when children, when the winning team and the losers get to a bit of fight. I want to say that it is very important that we mitigate the risk to the minimum levels as much as possible. It's true we have the cameras in place, we can see that maybe there's something that is happening, the children are in chaos, but we have a system in place maybe of security guards maybe during those days that when anything happens, the children do not have so much damage. We have maybe a child losing their eye, maybe because of the fight we are seeing them on the screen, but we have those for a lack of better word, like the covenants in place during that time, if anything happens, especially also in the dormitories where they're going to end the term. There's that curfew that usually happens. Do we have a system in place? Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you very much. If you could, that end, okay. Okay, last two, and then we move on to the answers. Last two, there's one over there near the speaker, and here.
Thank you very much. My name is Ndejje Monica, and I'm an old student of this school. I was here for 6 years. Just to respond to her, they say 13 trays per day, and that's 398. So times 7, that gives us 2,700 cards. Given the population of the school, I think those days are enough. But my query was about the milk. You told us those 17 cows give us 20 liters per head of the cow, or the total. Because at the end of the day, if it's the total, that means each cow is giving us like 4 liters. Seriously, then we need a veterinary. We need a veterinary doctor. So that they can help us. We need you, madam, so that you can help us increase the production of the milk. That milk cannot be enough for this population. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd say the very last one.
Thank you.
Please, we have to move on. Yes, please.
I am Helen Ndejje. I happen to be a new parent. My concern is, I don't know which forum I will address this, but I observed that the smallest break you get, you're supposed to carry the luggage, mattress, suitcase. I find it really, really inconveniencing to the parents, considering that not all of us have vehicles. I don't know which forum is going to address it, but I am suggesting and I am requesting that we adjust. Honestly speaking, why would someone have to carry a suitcase, mattress when they are breaking up for only 2 weeks? The other concern is the mattress. We very well know that considering the crowd, the numbers, usually we get bed bags. Schools have phased out parents carrying mattresses back to school. Otherwise, we shall be ferrying forth and back. Why don't we put a fee and find the mattresses at school? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to thank the parents who have voiced their concerns, and whatever has remained not mentioned, I request that you write, and those which are urgent, we will squeeze time within the last hour and answer them. But without, maybe I request the head teacher to respond to this, but one which I can have a say is the proposal. The mosquito nets to answer, but it has been an issue raised almost every AGM why they are not handled. So I hope management will give us a good answer. And another campus, this issue was raised in the board, at board level, and some provisional study was done, because Ndejje has land, as the head teacher mentioned. We have Kariunga, we have Kakute. So land is not a problem, but the issue was the efficiency of another campus at this time. The board approved that let's go that way. But when we had 2 research studies done, one from the report of the Church of Uganda Provincial Education Committee, they found that the current land at this site is still enough to accommodate even double the current population if well utilized, putting up story buildings, classrooms, and that kind of thing. Because a new, I think the head teacher told us if you have 6 billion to start a new boys dormitory, the new campus required more than 50 billion. If you had to have dormitories, staff housing, all that, laboratories. But if we had half of it and we invested it here in better facilities like the one they have demonstrated, it was finally found that we can accommodate even double the current population at this very site if we optimize our facilities. So your concern, Mr. Ronald Obiru, has been discussed, and we found that we can still accommodate some more if we improve on our current facilities here. The rest, I think, the head teacher should be able to give us response.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If I was in class, I would say if I count 1, 2, 3, we clap. But now for you are big people. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. Let me start with this parent who has given us 300 layers to add on the existing and also support the teachers' projects. This is Madam Karen Atamba. I don't know where she's seated. Thank you so much. About security, we have underlying security measures. And security matters many times are not fully revealed. I can say, whenever we have an activity, sports and others, we increase quality beef up with the police and our internal measures, not only cameras, but we also have some who walk around dressed in simple ways, following everybody. Sometimes they put on even school uniform. So let me leave it there. We have, yes, about the campus, it has been well explained. To add, we are moving vertical, if you notice, and we have more space. The long-term thinking is to maximize this place. If need be, we move the farm to the other land, and we have here academic and other businesses taking place here. Milk, true, the supply is little, but we intend to increase it. The details are discussed, and we have a qualified vet doctor who is in charge of that farm, trained from Makerere University. And an old student with deep interest in this school. Other services we shall not need, and you will be able to add what you have. We have the issue of mattresses. When we told the S1 people that we will have the mattresses, you find them here, they are those who took them home, saying these are ours. Now we are struggling to make sure that we remind them that they did
mattresses, then they will leave them here. Our target, call it long-term plan, is to see a student coming to this school with only a bag to study. Just the beds which don't have mosquito net hangers. The designs we are having now, those of you who have been to S5 sleeping spaces, some of them have that round thing where they can put the net. But some of these things you don't rush them because they have cost implications. And if you just decide to have all those mosquito nets fixed in one term, you will affect other budget lines. But we are doing it systematically, and I hope we shall be able to manage. We try to do fumigation, and it has worked to some extent, and try to keep the bushes far from us, and also get these where the mosquitoes breed from. Work to smoke detectors, we've taken note, and yes, the potholes in dormitories. Slowly by slowly, we shall be able to improve. Comment on water harvesting. True, we need this backup. Much as our water, we get it from down. Pump it up, then it runs in the dormitories and other areas. But we intend to have a backup of rainwater harvested. The boys are also noticed, sometimes they pierce when there is no water inside the tank, assuming that maybe if I pierce, some extra water might come out. In the same way, that's how they remove even those locks on the doors and even the toilets. Because there is no water, they force it. And these are strong boys. Girls, we don't have so much of a challenge, but the boys, we talk to them. We have our systems, we counsel them. This big population, and some have not been managed well at home. For you at home, you have two, and you fail to handle them. Now, for me, I have 1,500 well fed, and they are playing left, right, and center. Those who are into the co-curricular activities, how do we get them to participate? They go through the competitions. We expose them. Not only because a parent here is talking about somebody who is shy. Yes, they are all exposed, and somehow we find out their potential. That's why we have as many activities as possible, that somebody's strength may come out in other areas, and it builds their self-esteem and etc. The boy who has been to China, if he comes here, you might even not notice him. Very quiet in the background. It is only when you hear him speaking Chinese that you get confused, and the other people are smiling, enjoying what he's saying, but for you, you cannot understand, because he's very good at that language. Actually, he's not doing the subject at A level. He's doing BCM, but he's the best in the country in that language. So encourage your child to participate. this is about VDs. It is very challenging that parents come, spend a full day without eating anything. In some schools, catering services are put in place to cater for that. Why not here? The hard one, we are not those schools. The soft one, we are following ministry guidelines. And it is also intentional that when you come, the core business is academic. Discuss academic issues, encourage your learner, and you go back home. For us, we are here the whole day, and the fact that this meeting is long, we have been able to provide food. And even tomorrow we shall provide food because we have invited the parents. The ministry policy is clear that you don't bring food to school. Let's plan accordingly and manage our learners, your children very well, and they also have the discipline. Don't smuggle in food. They may copy that and they may regret challenges. Some of the issues we got, somebody brought in food I don't know from where. I will not go back to that story. Our inspection of the toilets is needed. Our children have complained of the dirty toilets. True, we have people who add or support the cleaning of toilets, but we try as much as possible. Unfortunately, when we are going through school, we used to clean the toilets ourselves. The children we have today come from homes where most of the work is done by maids. And many times we find it challenging as educators. How will they survive? But we are trying to clean those toilets, and like you found them today, it is not only today that we have cleaned. We clean the toilets. Academic discipline, to encourage parents to check learners' books when they come back home, especially where a child has scored E, D. Yes, and recommendation. The parents gets in touch with the teacher. Can we have an integrated energy strategy on new buildings, EV solar? Stanbic Bank and its team came here on Thursday, but also internally we have started on this solar lighting challenge to be addressed. As we get the jelly oil, not your child maybe picked and took it to another dormitory. But that will be history, hopefully by the end of next week when we acquire this big generator that can power this and even part of the village. Put cameras in the dormitories to calm thieves. Very controversial. There is a school I know where they have cameras inside. But that is that school, and actually it is a boys' school. Now this one is a mixed school, and I don't want to get into the legal aspects of privacy and all that. What we are mainly monitoring is outside. What I can say, on top of praying for your child, encourage them to be satisfied with what they have, so that they don't encroach on other people's property. People who studied here or even went to other schools know cases as reflected with people who have. I go back home. But we have the measures internally, and the good thing, the learners are reporting each other. Did I say that we're placing spies? No, you have not heard that. But they inform us so and so can help us, and then we get to know some of these challenges, and they have helped. That is why you no longer hear of so many theft cases. Is there any plan of setting another exam for learners that missed at the beginning of the term? The last time I did an exam, when you miss, they put the dash. If it was a national exam, what would have happened? It is what? Because that exam has been programmed, it has been given a time frame, and it has been invigilated, ended. It will be right for me as an educator to indicate that this child missed the beginning of term exam because he or she was sick at home. Other than saying this child did exams under terms that were not fair to the whole class. My recommendation is try as much as possible to make sure that your child comes here in time. Communicate with the deputy head teachers in case it is you have some challenges. You can go through the dean, you can go through the director of studies, you can go through the class teacher, and we get to know that this child will miss. But we shall not set another exam because that is missed, and the child will be considered for that. Let the children know that in life you have to be in time and present when you are expected to be at a certain place. I'm sorry for being like a teacher, but then I'm a teacher. Number of visits organized by school management in a term are too many. I do propose that the many meetings or visits organized by the school can be reconsidered and reduced to a maximum of 2. Very good proposal. This is an AGM. Tomorrow is prayer. 15th is a meeting of senior tools and class. Every meeting has its purpose, and we invite those who are in that particular class. On a selfish note, having studied in a boarding school from T1 even up to today, I'm working in a boarding school, it is very good for you to interact with your child whenever you get an opportunity. Can we have guidance on how reachable our class teachers should be? Student progress issues are difficult to handle from afar. We need class teachers who are reachable. Most of the class teachers are reachable. We have class forums managed by teachers. And on those platforms, you communicate with them directly. Taking their phone number would be okay, and you call them. But those who can go through WhatsApp and you interact with the teacher, like the parents who are communicating here, they're even indicating the name of their child. When you come on VD, let's focus on knowing who is the class teacher, get the contact, and call them at a time when you can be able to interact. Some of them are tech savvy, that they can be able to share even what is, like we sent homework during the holiday. Some people were complaining that there is a lot of homework by the class teacher. That connection with the child and the parent and the teacher is key. Reach the class teacher through that, but I have noted administratively that some of them are not reachable. Of recent, we have had a reshuffle. Some people call it rotation, others call it getting the right people in places, and dropping some who are not effective. But we are trying our level best. Student security. Since the number of learners is growing so high, there is need to beef up security. This one I have answered. I have heard the head teacher say most of the projects are implemented in a phased manner. Can we attach timelines to the activities? True. We are following timelines. When we sit in the Board of Governors meeting, there are projects we take on. I will start with the school gate. The school gate was supposed to be completed last term. Challenge we faced, it is an old students project. Board advises that we support the old students since they are doing good work for the school, and we finish it up. That is why the process has been expedited. And I'm saying by the end of the term, it will be done. Classroom block. The classroom block, if it was not in that position, the roofing would have been done by now. But during the holiday, we are going to work on it and it will be done. Before we take on any other project, and the next one is the boys' dormitory. That boys' dormitory will be started next year, probably faster, probably in the holiday, depending on what is discussed in the Board of Governors. meeting. There is what we call a Gantt chart, which we demand and we follow. The engineers know these things. I somehow picked in them and picked a few basics that are helping me manage, and we are following those. Need for streamlined manner of determining which textbooks a parent should buy for his or her learner. Today we are told this, tomorrow that, and some are not used but just creating market for producers. This one, the deputy academics will take note and we shall address it internally as we communicate in our circular. We have received others that are administrative, and actually we are going to try as much as possible to address them. We thank you for this feedback and highly appreciate your concern. May the Almighty God continue guiding us as we do our work.
Thank you, teacher, for the responses. Dear parents, we have received many comments. In the interest of time, I request that management is going to handle each and every comments brought forward. There are those which will require our input, like this one which says, thank you for organizing a good meeting. However, there is a need to consider inclusivity and have sign language support. That is an interpreter around. So that is for future to see whether we can have it. And the others who talked of RAPs in the administration, as we say, the designers, and some of these buildings, the design is there, but resources, some of those facilities will be availed in time. And this parent says, in future meeting, let us be time sensitive and minimize the talking. We actually, this meeting is for the feedback, and sometimes when people don't get the feedback, they think something is being hidden from them. That's why there's this talking. This is an accountability meeting, and also request that we come early. We are supposed to start at 9 o'clock. We started at a quarter to noon, and when we went for the tour, we had agreed that we come back by, it was a quarter to 11, a quarter past 11, but we came back past noon. So we lost out almost 3 hours. We have tried to catch up, but it was a bit impossible to compress that much. This one concerns we and says misuse of communication on parent platforms, use of abusive languages and disrespect. Also discussion of issues not concerning the school. This should be addressed. I think the message is very clear. Please, let's stick to only school issues. There's a lot of communication on these platforms. You can use other fora to forward to colleagues and friends, but let's stick ourselves. There has been some level of improvement from, say, last year, but let's keep improving and maximize the use of those platforms. And some have said we maximize use of the sharing of reports. Some parents can't read on their phones for long, and others don't have smartphones. Yes, we know, but we try to balance the two. Actually, in the past, we used to print a lot of books. If you go in the administration block, we have a pile of the PTA booklets, like for last year, more than half of what was printed. was not taken, and more than a half which was disputed were left in the hall. And that is your money. So instead of spending it, I would say recklessly, we thought the best way of maximizing your money. And we print very few copies. We use the soft copies. And that saving helped us to organize the lunch, because it was also a strong request from the parents that when you come here, you sit and we don't give you your lunch. This time, the saving we made on the printing, we have managed to organize lunch for you. But we shall see the ratio of how many copies you can print for those who really feel they have to have hard copies. Maybe we'll be getting a communication in future of those who will. And I hope even the food which we have prepared, parents will eat it. I don't want to get another report that half of the food was not eaten. But I promise I've quickly gone through the communication. Some are really management issues, and the head teacher and his team will respond to them. Like one parent said, his or her children are complaining that the meals are not good. Majority are saying the meals are good. Then we need the research to balance the two and come out with good. Others will be definitely administrative. Yeah, there is one question here which I want the head teacher to respond to, and then we'll move to the next item on the agenda.
Yes, what is being raised is about a prayer place for Muslims. One, now, church-founded school, which has a chapel and a chaplain. Any matters concerning prayer, may I forward them to the chaplain, who is appointed directly by the bishop. Being considerate as Christians, we allow the Muslims to go to the mosque in the trading center, accompanied by staff who are Muslims, and they attend prayers. Having a separate place here, it has to be the church to have its position. When I was getting into the education sector, I started at St. Mary's College, Usugi. Maybe they made me a little bit rigid. For them, they have one chapel, and prayer time is prayer time. You all look in one direction. And one of the colleagues asked me when it was, this is the math for Rosary, not so? When I was asking about Rosary, see, all along you have not been a Catholic. Maybe because of the upbringing and it is thought that I was. But what I can say, matters about church, mosques, and leave them to people who are in that direction. Let me say it in Uganda, bali baba bawule, the priests babawula, ne babajja muffe, ne bagenda mu nsonga z'omwoyo. I don't know whether that can be translated. Reverend Senior, can you, Reverend Senior, can you translate that? Or I leave you? Fine.
Yeah, thank you very much, head teacher, for responding to all our concerns. And as I promised, let's give him a loud applause for communicating. Those which are put in his bag here administrative, he will answer and action will be taken. In the interest of time, we are remaining with the only two very brief agenda items. The first one is presentation of and discussion of the Treasurer's report and the audited accounts, and then election of the PTA representative to the board. So, I would request our Treasurer to take the mantle and then invite the auditors for their submission. And I request that they do it briefly, since we have these details in our document. It should take us very brief time.
Good afternoon, fellow parents and teachers. Good afternoon, fellow parents and teachers. As guided by the chair, all protocol observed, but for the purposes of home security, allow me to recognize one person, and that is none other than my wife, Tobia. Please stand up for recognition. Yes. And we have a daughter here in S3D, Michelle Navagereka. I also happen to be an OB here, Senior House Prefect in OCMB. Other than that, I'm a seasoned banker with Housing Finance Bank, where we provide solutions for home ownership. The role, or my role, is to invite the auditor, who will present his detailed report, but also to confirm to you that the activities of PTA are being run professionally, and we are following policies and guidelines like the Education Act, the International Financial Regulatory Standards, IFRS, and our role as PTA, among others, is to promote student welfare, to support the teachers, and also to contribute to the school development. So our budget mainly focuses on those areas. But in doing so, we work closely with the administration, and we'd like to thank the headmaster. He has worked with us very well. Please clap for him. We've also worked very closely with the BASA, and please clap for the BASA, both BASAs. My brief comments are contained in the magazine, but one, we express our gratitude. Our auditors are Query and Associates. We thank them for their due diligence and expertise in reviewing our financial records. We would like also to acknowledge the transparency. The PTA's audited financial statements demonstrate that Ndejje PTA executives are committed to transparency and accountability. Some of the key findings in the audit report show that our financial records are accurate and up to date. with no major discrepancies or issues identified. However, we will continue to implement any recommendations with changes to ensure that our financial processes remain robust and efficient. A brief summary before I invite the auditor. Under the delegated authority of the Board of Governors, our major source of income is school fees transfers from the school fees collection account. We thank the Board of Governors for increasing that transfer by 15%, that is 496 million, compared to last year where it was 3.32 billion, that is 2023. This year, or 2024, the past year, they increased that to 3.816 billion. So we thank the board for that increment. You can clap for the board. Some of the expenses